followers on this app, but I'm building and I'm building. So this is just how we're going. So we are starting. So hey everybody, if you're tuning in tonight, happy Sunday. I hope you had a restful
Sunday.
weekend. I hope you probably had a busy week. You probably had so much going on and you probably need a fresh Sunday reset. That's what I'm doing, and I have actually this is the first stream I've ever done. In this box right here, you can see where I'm pointing. This is my mother. She goes by the Mystic FA on TikTok. Give her a follow. She has great content on there. She's always traveling, and she is a spiritual healer. And we are in a spiritual war right now. So I wanted to talk to her. I want to start talking to her more every week, bringing her on stream, and drop a comment if you feel the same way we do. We're going to talk about a couple different topics tonight. So, Mom, aka the Mystic FA, what's going on? Tell me about what's going on in your world.
Well, first of all, I want to say hello to everybody that's listening. And I really want to begin this topic of us speaking. I want to do just a really quick, like a little meditative awakening, a welcoming. Whoever is listening, I really want to bring in the intention for those that are listening, that they come with an open heart and with an open third eye, so that they are able to see beyond the veils of what's really happening in our
Okay.
world, because of what's happening right now with a lot of the disclosures that's been happening in our world. That's quite ugly.
Yeah.
It's truth. It's everything that we've known about, Terrence.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been in, I call them sleepers. They've just been numb to the truth, even though that us we've been trying to tell them what's going on. They refuse. So this it's almost like a little bit of a tidal wave that's going on of awakening. But what this awakening is doing, it's actually calling our souls back home, so that we can come back to our divine self. I call it our soul vessel,
Yeah.
because and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to confuse people, because I'm going really deep. But during the whole COVID, what happened to us, we so we have a soul, but we also have this soul vessel, okay?
Yeah.
And it's more, it's like our akashic records within our being, within ourself. It holds so much knowledge, so much wisdom that was being robbed from us during the COVID years, when we were locked
Yeah.
down. We were fed nothing but fear. I could actually see so many of us losing our soul vessels. So right now we're actually getting those vessels back, if I'm making sense.
Yeah. So I completely agree. I think during coronavirus and that whole time, so many people were you could tell who was still asleep and who was still awake because some people, I don't know if they were just so numb and there's just
Yeah.
in if society made them so numb or so dull, but there were some people that it feels like they need to be told what to do and they need to be told what to believe, and I was like, I don't know how to wake those people up, but yeah, you can continue. I know exactly what you're
So
talking about.
so right. So we can't awake them up. They really have to awaken up on their own, and it's happening right now. It is finally happening. And oh my God, I'm sorry. I just went. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm a little tired. I was flying all day, because I am a flight attendant, along with my very spiritual journey. I'm actually a shaman. My soul vibrates to a shamanic soul. So I've done a lot of years of my spiritual practice. Um,
Hint the name, the Mystic FA.
Oh
That's
yeah. So
the name is.
also what's happening. I'm sorry. So also what's happening with this is that we are being triggered to restore the faith back in us, because we were so lost that we had faith in, like, Fauci and Bill Gates and Trump and whoever else was up, speaking about, you know what's going on in our
Yeah.
world. And then now AI is taking over, and now people are relying on AI, and they've just completely lost their own navigation system to their authentic self. But right now, like, don't worry, we're being triggered to, especially now moving into the
Yeah.
Chinese New Year of the
Year
fire
of the
horse.
Fire Horse.
We are moving in to our own authentic expression
Yeah.
with
And
everybody awakening. So this is, so I'm just letting you all know this. So I reported, I'm sorry, I get all excited. I reported on December 31st, which was our fake new year, that we were being fed extreme, I'm talking extreme God power. I could see our like when we're newborns, the little soft spot in our head. It's like I could see it opening up, and we're
like a
being fed
crown.
so much extreme God power, right?
Okay.
I've had other intuitives like almost a month later confirm that, and they call it the God particle. They're waking up the God particle. I just call it we're being fed our extreme God power.
Yeah, because
So it's like the divine is actually preparing us for everything that had happened with the Epstein files and everything being
yeah,
released. It's like we were already, our bodies were already, whether you know it or not, your bodies were already being prepared for this awakening calling.
yeah,
So this is a year that, along with this extreme God power being fed, we're also going, our bodies are going through an overhaul, like this healing. It's going through this major overhaul of repair. I can see it in our cells, in our DNA, and even in the structure of our skeletal system. Okay,
yeah,
so a lot of us that have been on this journey for quite some time, we are, even some of us are going to be even unrecognizable, especially if we continue to follow our spiritual journey that we've awakened to. So this is the year that we're going to really awaken our own divine, um, authentic expression self. This is going to be a year of creating inventions, um, for us to act on what's coming to us. Like,
yeah,
that's going to be our money maker. We're going to be able to slowly slip away out of our jobs that are draining us, that we hate, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the year that we are all going to be gifted to allow us to bring forth all the gifts that we have stored within us that we can share with others.
yeah. I would say this is the year of purpose because for so long we have been in just the rat race, in a grind, going over doing the same thing, almost like we're stuck. We as a society have been stuck in a loop. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we lost our purpose. We lost our way. And that's why so many people, I feel like, we're looking towards a leader. Oh, Fauci. Oh, Trump. Tell me what to do. Like, just like you were saying. And
Yeah,
you were put on this earth to have a purpose. Your soul is supposed to have a.
right.
So I agree with you that the Lunar New Year, the the new cycle that we're in, I think we're in the age of Aquarius. Something has shifted, and I guess the Christ consciousness that is fully coming back is basically breaking the cycle and bringing purpose back into your life, because that's, I feel like that's the reason people are so docile. People have, that's the reason people aren't protesting the Epstein files, because they have no purpose. They're lost. We are a bunch of lost souls in
Yeah,
this world, right?
they're waiting for the next, um announcement of what they should do next. And that's why we just have to ignore that, take this matter in our own hands, and just live our own life. Like, before I got online with you, I was meditating, and some things were coming to me, and I just kept seeing this clear vision of, walk a straight line, Helen, walk a straight line. Forget all the static noise that's coming from the left, coming from the right, coming from everywhere. You just stay in your own lane and focus with yourself. This is where we're supposed to just focus upon ourselves, our routines, our healings, your meditating, your healthy habits, your healthy routine. Because when you get closer to yourself, you're going to get closer to God, whatever you want to call God, your higher self, Jesus. Th- th- when I talk about what's happening is that we are restoring the faith within us,
Uh huh.
is that we are not going to be, we're not going to rely on, like, the government's dead. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The government is, I think everybody should stop paying taxes. Like, I file I hit exempt, like, no more. I'm not participating in that anymore. You know,
Hmm.
I didn't even vote the last election. I'm like, I'm not going to give my power away, because remember when I was, I've had my experience where I've battled with dark entities. I even battled with a demon. So I was trying to explain to somebody, demons do cannot exist without our energy, because demons are nothing. Demons demons manifest through us, and they gain power, and they grow and grow and grow only through us. And what do demons thrive off? They thrive off of severe havoc, violence, all everything that's unloved. That's why they constantly have to create wars. That's why they constantly have to create, a, a fathom. Like, they have to constantly create all of
Stress
that
on our
to
society. Yeah.
stress on society in order for them to grow. That is why I mean, this is why you're hearing, about the Epstein files, about the sacrificing and everything, and the babies. And the reason why they love to have babies is because babies are the closest thing to
To God.
God.
Yeah.
They are the closest thing to God, because they're not corrupted from the world. And so what that is doing, it's feeding them the demonic power.
Hmm.
But they can't survive, without us. And it's so voluntarily now,
Hmm.
because they get us at every way that they can, through movies, through TV shows, through music, through
Our children's shows, even the cartoons, and the
everything. they
video
they
games,
get it they
everything.
get us through everything.
Yeah.
And then and then through the food, the fluoride, the pesticides, to where it's fossilized our pituitary gland, our pineal gland. But to me, it's like, have no fear, because the extreme god power that we're being fed right now, like that is chipping away at your pituitary gland, your pineal gland. That those are your antennas, your access to God, to your
Yeah.
holy self. And we
I think it's crazy how they, after World War II, they put fluoride in our water, and this is something. This is true. You can look it up. The Germans were the Nazis were doing this, and then when they came over to the United States in Operation Paperclip, they started putting fluoride in our water, and that was to calcify our pineal glands. And what I think is interesting is that it wasn't strong enough, because people have still awoken to this. I see people all the time using products that don't have fluoride in it, and they tried to calcify our pineal glands. It worked on a lot of people, but there's a huge amount of people where they were not able to zombify us.
It didn't work on me. You know what they
It
even did? Because I
what
grew up in California. You know what they did? They went as far as they put us all in line in the cafeteria auditorium when I was in elementary school. They put us in line, and they used to give us fluoride drops.
really?
They gave us fluoride drops.
Yeah,
Yes, they did.
it was all just to dull down society and make us docile. Like, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
and because and since that wasn't working, that's when they started with the Ritalin. That's when they started with the mind altering drugs. That's why they have a label on everything. You're ADHD. You have this. You're bipolar. You're
yeah.
this. You're so let's give
And
you a
then
pill. So when
the
I tell
depression
you,
medicine after the
yeah,
Ritalin, then they came out with
when
that. Yeah.
when I tell you about me trying to explain to the world how massive this
Awakening.
is that we have been under and battling, it goes down to the people in charge of our food, money, the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you a story. When I was doing my shamanic work full time, a father came to, he was a client of mine, so I was working with him, and then he came over, and he one evening he goes, can you please help my daughter, she's in the psychiatric ward. And I said, yes, I think I can, but first of all, she doesn't believe in what I do. Second of all, she has to come and ask me. And
Mm-hmm.
so he said, okay, I understand that. There's more to the story.
Yeah.
So eventually she did call me. She came to my home. I did the energy work on her. But I'll tell you what, it took me 2 days to find it. The first night I did energy work on her, went through all her chakras, nothing happened. Th- Then before she left, I was guided for her to come back the second night. And she goes, I can do that because she was visiting for the weekend. She
Yeah.
was living out of state. She came the second night. I said, we're going to do just the exact same thing. You're going to sit in front of me. You're going to do deep, heavy breathing, and I'm going to enter all of your chakras. That time, when I got to her heart chakra, something jumped out. It looked, the way I can describe it was like a black voodoo, ugly looking witch. And it jumped out of her heart. It try to intimidate me in my face, and all of a sudden, to my right I could see like this white cloud funnel spinning faster and faster, and I was being told that that's going to God. And that thing, I pulled that out and it went into the funnel and it screamed the whole entire time, and I know it was going, what I was being told, it was going to God to be transformed into light. And I didn't say anything because I wanted to just finish all of her chakras to make sure there was nothing else there. When it was over and done, I didn't want to scare her. And I said, um, there was something in your heart that was harming you, but I got it out. And I didn't want to explain to her what it looked like. And and her eyes were
That
closed the whole
so
entire
it
time
was
I
like
was
that
working
that
with
dark
her.
energy because she was surrounding herself with the dark energy, the people that are around her, and whatever she
No,
was.
no, that wasn't it.
What was
So
it?
I just, no, I just told her. So I just said, and then I said, it came out of your heart, and her eyes were closed, and she said, when you got to my heart area, because I was telling her which chakra I was going to, she said she could see black smoke coming out of her breath, and she just kept along with me. She
Yeah.
just, in her mind's eye, she kept seeing the black smoke.
Yeah.
And then I said to her, do you know how that thing got into you? And she goes, no. And I go, did you take pharmaceutical drugs like antidepressants and things like that? And she said, yeah, my parents made me go see a psychiatrist when I was young. And then they started putting me on those pills.
The
And she
SS
went,
is it SSIs? Is that what they're called?
I don't know, but
The
she,
depression medication.
yeah, but she had that was her second time in a psychiatric ward, and the reason why she was in there again because she tried to stab her boyfriend and she tried to stab herself. So they threw her in the psychiatric ward for the second time. So I said, she goes, yeah, they gave me those pills, the antidepressants, and I said, that's how that thing got into you. I said, promise me that you will never take that stuff ever again. And she promised me. And that was like maybe 16, 17 years ago. And she lives a beautiful life now. She's got two beautiful kids. And
That's amazing.
that's just a thing of the past.
How did you find like what did you do? What was the process? Did you have to go into a deep meditation, a hypnosis with her? What How did it even start? What exercises were you guys doing to find that information out or heal that?
Um, it it was just all intuitive guidance. I just told her to sit in front of me, do her deep, heavy breathing. I got her in a relaxed state, and then I proceeded to go in each one of her chakras. Um,
And you were trying to
and
just
then
feel
and
the
then
energy from each
and
one,
then
or
when it was no, and then when it was over, my intuitive guidance said that it came from pharmaceutical pills.
yeah, it's all those
And then
pharmaceutical pills.
she confirmed that she was on them from a young age.
Yeah, all those
And so what
pharmaceutical
happens?
pills are
They
are
so they're the same, they're part of the same demonic group. There's part of the same group that we have been under control. I mean, they and then they have to tell you what they're doing to us. It's part of their satanic law. So what do they tell us in the commercials? They tell you about, oh, this
may
pill is going to
cause
change your life,
suicidal
and
thoughts
then
or something.
yeah, suicide. They tell you.
Yeah,
They literally tell you
yeah, they
because
say
what
it real
that
fast, like
that
it's a spell or being said or
yeah,
something.
because what that does, it prevents them from receiving their karma. As long as they tell us what they're doing to us, then just like when Fauci in 2017, when he told us that we were going to be, that a pandemic was going to be,
Yeah,
that was going to come get us, they're telling us.
yeah, they
We're
always.
just, I hate to say it, but we're just too stupid and too numb to realize what's going, not a lot, us conspiracy theorist people are the ones that knew it was going on.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes me think about what you were just saying. These scientists and these pharmacy workers that are actually creating the medicine, they are just like, in a weird way, they're like casting spells and stuff because they're just when
They
these
are.
they're mixing chemicals, they're mixing all these different elements together. Sometimes they don't know exactly what they're making and what they're mixing, so it's almost like they're casting spells when they're making these pills and this medicine and stuff. I believe it. That's how I.
Oh, they 100% are, because how are they going to continue to have control of the masses that treat us like slaves? Me as a flight attendant, I'll sit around at the airport because I'm there early or my flight's delayed, and I look at everybody, and everybody looks so tired and worn out and unhealthy, and it's always so sad to me. It's so sad that I see these mice, these rats caught in the rat race, and they don't take any time to take care of themselves. They can hardly walk. They're bending over. They, and it's
Yeah,
just like, how are they going to control? They're probably all on pharmaceuticals, or they're hungover, or they're drunk half the time. It's like they just want to numb themselves because of this rat race that they've put us into. That's why with this disclosure and the great awakening, this is the true great awakening, that this is why we have to connect with ourselves. We have to
yeah,
get off the drugs. We have to get off the alcohol. We have to get off all those bad things for us, so we can hear, so we can awaken our intuition.
yeah. It's
The
a
our
big.
intuition, but our intuition is Christ consciousness.
Uh huh.
That's what it is.
It's a
That's our God-given right.
it's a strong battle and it's a huge and it's really tough, but they have succeeded for a long time. But when you said this is the great awakening, something feels different now. It actually does feel like people are waking up. And I heard that alcohol sales, Gen Z alcohol sales are down like 80% overall.
Good.
And because people are waking up, people want to go back to real life, and people are realizing that social media a lot of the time it just makes you depressed because all they throw at you is negative stuff, sex, gambling, um, you
And
know,
and it's and it's
enragement.
getting worse. It's getting worse. You know what my guides told me? They told me that social media, oh God, how did they say it to me? Social media is just as detrimental to your psyche as watching porn all day.
Yeah,
That's how bad it is for you. That it just, and
yeah,
then it becomes addictive.
hmm,
It's addictive. That's like they say porn's addictive. Like that's why some people are
yeah,
addicted to, because it releases those same endorphins. And until you find the next whatever, or you have to get the more likes, or you got to see the more,
yeah,
what drama is next. And I'll tell you what, I'm guilty of that, of posting a lot of things, because I feel like I'm trying to wake up more people, but it's like, Helen, that really is not your responsibility. Because you know what I noticed, a lot of people that used to watch my stories, they're cowards. They don't watch my stories anymore
Yeah,
because
I
they
know.
don't want to see it. They want to be in their pretend world still. They want to talk about the halftime show. They want, and it's just, and I get so mad, and I hate to say it, but I feel like I get so mad because it's like you're cowards. We, you have to face it. You have to face this fucking demon in order for you to realize the trap and the 3D you've been living in.
Yeah, they really boxed us into just a one-dimensional mindset for so long. And I've been saying this for a while, and I agree with you because I ever since 2026 started, I said, "Oh, I'm going to be more open about social media, and I'm going to be open. I'm going to be more open about speaking what I believe online because that's what this is
Mhm.
for, anyways. This is a tool
Yeah.
that we're supposed to use to share what our thoughts are, to share what our opinions are, and I don't have to be embarrassed about what I believe and what I think, because just like you said, it's like I don't want to be living like a coward and just keeping how I really feel inside my mind. Like I want to express my opinions. I want to say what I believe because maybe it will wake one person up. Anything's possible. I don't know, but
Right.
I 100% agree with you.
Eh,
We have to bring out the positive and the light in the society because there's too much darkness surrounding us.
I
The
mean, not only that, there so much has happened with this disclosure, and we're going to have more disclosures. That I have to say this, and this is probably going to surprise people. When I was in a really deep meditation, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I took my plant medicine. It's called hoppy. It's like shamanic dust medicine, and I was told immediately that the Muslim community have basically been holding space for us because they are the ones that act and practice like real Christians. They don't smoke, they don't drink alcohol, they don't take drugs, they're family first, and they pray all the time, and they believe in
the real
they
Muslims,
believe
not
in
the
our God. They believe in God, they believe in Jesus, they believe in Mother Mary. They they have actually been holding space for us with all the prayers, even after everything that they have been through. That's why the demons hate them the most and want to rid of them.
yeah. That's really interesting
and
because
and they've been blamed for 9/11. They're constantly the ones who are doing it. We know the ones who are doing it with the false flags.
yeah
They and then they're just gaining strength, that they're our best allies and all this and that. And like, no, you're the ones that's been doing all this harm,
yeah
and you're trying to rid of the good holy people. So when I talk about we're going through a tidal wave of massive awakening, there are so many different layers of this awakening that's happening. I mean, layers. I mean, and we have to be patient because there's people, at the first layer, there's people in the middle layer, and there's people that are on the top layer.
yeah
Like us, we're kind of on the top layer. We've known about this for so long. And but we are most definitely in a spiritual battle, because I'll tell you what, that same night when I was meditating, and I've battled a demon already before, and it knew of me before I knew of it, because it knew I was a threat, because I was gonna remove a lot of the energy it was feeding off of, a lot of ghosts that were trapped in the psychiatric ward. I was told, I was warned, do not go to Gettysburg because you are too vulnerable right now. I, I'm living in Pennsylvania, right?
yeah
And
yeah
I had a thought, but I had no plans. I thought, oh, you know what? My friend lives over there near Gettysburg. Maybe I'll go stay, at him and his partner's house, and maybe go out there for the day and be a tourist or whatever. But I had no plans. It just entered my mind that I would go there to go look at that history. I was warned not to go to Gettysburg because I am too vulnerable right now. Because it's true, I'm going through this transition. Work tires me. I was enjoying, drinks here and there, and I was like, my vibration was lower too, because what I heard is that Gettysburg is very dark. There's demons there, and I was just told I have no business going there. So that's one place I will not be going, because we are definitely in a spiritual
I wonder why. I wonder
war
why. Maybe
zone
because of Civil War stuff. I don't know. Maybe why do you think that?
because of all the death that happened there,
All the death
all
that
the
happened there.
killing, all the gory, bloody things that have happened there.
I think it's interesting going back to what you were saying about the Muslim people because in Iran they are going through this revolution right now where they're basically telling their leaders to fuck off and that they and it, something I wish that Americans would do in America. I wish we would come together and tell our leaders to fuck off and that we're gonna change some shit. But over there, it seems that they are not as controlled. They are fighting. They're fighting back against their leaders. They don't want to take any shit. And like you said, there's a lot of people who are. I mean, I'm not talking about the crazy Islamists, but the people who are
Well,
real,
the demon,
the people who are real peaceful Muslims, they who are very like
oh yeah, the
put
ones that were not
their faith,
corrupted.
put their faith forward like 100%. They can't be
But
controlled.
you have to
They
understand.
can't be controlled at all.
But you have to understand the CIA, Mossad are the ones that created ISIS. They created Hamas.
Al Qaeda.
They're the ones that fund them. They're the ones that provide the guns. Everything is a theatrical show. And they're just playing their part so that we could have war, destruction, starvation, so they can have excuses to wipe out people.
Yeah,
So
because
so
they need.
it's part of their
It sounds crazy.
brainwashing.
It sounds crazy to people who are in here watching right now. It sounds crazy, but the powers that be, this deep state, they need blood. They crave it. And when things, I was telling this to my mom the other night. It's not even funny, but when they get exposed and when people are calling them out and when their whole web of lies is coming down on them, they actually need more blood. So people need to be on high alert right now during this mass awakening. They need to be praying daily, every single day. They need to be getting closer to God because these demons, they need more blood for their plans to work, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so
And you know what?
people need to be on high alert right now for false flags, for propaganda, any of that stuff.
Well, you know what? I was waking up the other morning, and I'm not a religious person. I mean, I was baptized, but I never went to catechism. I really don't like religion because I don't like the way it's been used to weaponize against us, and
Yeah.
put fear in us. And they've corrupted the Bible so much too. It's
Yeah. The
just so they
Ethiopian
can make
Bible
their.
is the oldest one, but then
Yeah, I want to read that one.
how many kings and royal families changed it over the
But
years?
I'll tell you what, but there's good things about it, because I was waking up the other day, and before the whole Epstein stuff came out, like I said, I'm a shaman, so I've connected to Jesus. I love Jesus. I love God, Mary. Um, I've worked with the angels, the archangels, Buddha.
In
Like, it's
meditations.
just, the ascended masters. I've really thrived in all of the heavenly spiritual team. They've all been there for me. But like a month before the Epstein files came out, I just had this calling and this need to be so close to Yeshua, to Jesus. And I just was like, I just had this calling, like, I want him near me. I want him to be my soulmate. I want him to be my best. Like, I feel like I'm going to cry now. I want him to be my best friend. I want him to teach me his ways. Like, I just wanted his energy wrapped around me, because he really is the way, especially right now with everything that's happening. And I never had such a drive to just want to be so close to Ishua, and just to be, I want him to show me his way. I want him to guide me. And then before you know it, here come all this ugliness stuff about, the Epstein files, and we knew about all that stuff, but to see it there, I mean, I won't look at it, or I can't hear those videos, like I don't need to, but really,
It's so dark.
call on, have him be there to protect you, have him there to raise your vibration. So when I tell you, when I the other day I was waking up, and I just got home from a trip, so I was tired, and I just kept hearing, follow Lent, Helen. And I was like, and I'm like, I'm not a Catholic. I don't know how that works. And I was like, okay, okay, like take part of it, take
Yeah.
part in Lent. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't even know when it starts. So I had to look it up because I didn't know when it started. And it was like, it starts today. It starts today. So for 40 days, you practice fasting, you pray every day, you give up sugar or alcohol or whatever it is that lowers your vibration. You do they were Jesus was telling me, like, do this, like
Isn't
this is what you need, right? And I don't mean to
yeah,
interrupt you, but I was like, so what I was getting at, do you want to get revenge? Do you want justice? I mean,
yeah.
do you want justice for all those souls that were used in their satanic rituals? You want justice? This is the way to get justice, to pray every day, to get closer to yourself, get closer to God. Take part in Ramadan, take part in Lent, or
Uh-huh.
any way that you can. This is the way, because this is the way we're going to get justice. Because what we're doing, because remember, I told you I battled a demon, I sent many earthbound souls to the light, meaning ghosts. That's our way of freeing these people that went through this horrific crimes.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional. They need to be released. And in order for them to be released is for us to raise our vibration and to bring more light upon this earth.
Yeah.
And we do that by fasting, praying, loving yourself, being good to yourself, giving up the toxins.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. I mean, but these entities are they're not elites. I
No,
refuse to
they're
call them elites. Yeah,
parasites.
these
They're
parasites, they
parasites.
use black magic, and I know it sounds crazy, but we need to use light
No,
magic.
they do.
I know it sounds insane, but we need to use magic back at them. They use, so what you're saying is true. We know we need to follow the holy magic, whether it's, and it's insane how Ramadan, Lent, and the Lunar New Year all started on
All
this,
the
all
same
on the same
time. Do
day.
you
Because
not realize how powerful this stream, this doorway, this awakening is for us?
yeah, it all happened at the same time this year. It's the first time in many years. I don't know exactly how many. And there has to be some sort of energy and reason for that to be. All this darkness that has come to light, and we need to use magic back at them. I know, and people will be like, maybe in the comments, they'll say, Terrence, you're crazy. Magic's not real. If it's not
Oh,
real,
magic is
if
real.
it's not real, then why do these parasites, these demons, why do they practice black magic? If it's not real, why do they practice it? So we need to push it right back on them, but in a light way. You know what I mean? In a good way,
Yeah.
in a
With
holy way. In a holy way, we need to push it right back at them.
Yeah, because it's stronger. Our light is stronger.
Hmm.
And so, because of who I am, I can't describe the way things just come to me. Like I said, before the Epstein files was released, before any of that stuff happened, I remember I was waiting for a flight. I was in the Chicago airport, and one of my flights got delayed. So I'm sitting there in the terminal, I'm having my tea, I'm kind of relaxing. And then all of a sudden, I got this strong urge to pray, like, pray right now, Helen, pray as hard as you can right now. And it was such an urge that I was like, oh my God, I cannot refuse this. So I just sat there in the terminal, and I put my hands together, and I just started to say, since I'm here at the airport, I am asking the angels of flight, God's power, God's foot soldiers, angels of flight, take off from here in the airport and go around the world and go to those souls that are suffering, the ones that have suffered like hell on earth, the ones that have gone through the most suffering. Go and I could see like the lights, like the way I see it, it's like angels like of light just going around the globe. Just massive light just going around the globe. And I'm praying so hard and I'm visualizing this. And then I I know it sounds crazy. And then all of a sudden, you know that song from from the Gladiators, We Are Now Free,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
That song started playing in my head like we are now free, we are now free. And I'm praying so hard, I'm seeing all the light cross the globe, and my eyes are closed and I can feel the warm tears just streaming down my face. And I'm not letting it go until I know I'm done. And I didn't care who was seeing me in the airport. I don't know if they thought I was crazy or what, but I felt like that I was helping with some sort of awakening, because here came after that, here came the release of the Epstein files.
yeah,
So I don't doubt the power that I have. I don't doubt the guidance that I have. And either I was taking part with many others to open that door to release those souls that have been because there were so many. There was so
yeah.
massive of how
It's been
many
going on. It's been
souls
going
of
on
how
for
many
so
souls
long.
they fed off of how
Yeah,
many souls they fed off of,
yeah.
and those souls were still trapped.
I
Do you
think
understand where I'm going with this?
Uh-huh. I think during especially now during Lent, but this is a personal challenge I'm going to be doing in March, starting March 1st for the whole month on social media and TikTok. If you're listening, you can join this challenge. We're going to be doing a daily prayer vlog, and at the end of the week of every we're going to be doing a like just like Muslims do it, okay? How they have to pray every single day. We're going to be praying every single day in the month of March, at least I am. And we'll be posting it on TikTok, our daily affirmations. And at the end of the week, we can reflect on how that changed our perspective. But specifically, what I will be praying on for the entire month of March and for the rest of Lent is just justice for the children, justice for the lost souls that the Mystic FA is talking about, because they deserve to go home. They've been trapped for so long, these souls, in this darkness. And we as a society need to pray for them to move to the other side, to move on. And people will say,
And
that
they
sounds
are.
crazy. That sounds so crazy.
And they
We need to
are.
pray every single day that these children get justice. We need to pray every single day that their soul moves on. Together, we are powerful. We need to use our power to help them cross over. It's so true. So
But
true.
not only that, with our prayers and with Lent and with Ramadan and with the Chinese New Year, we we if you follow what I'm saying about the fasting, the praying every day, to giving up the alcohol, giving up the sugar, giving up the porn, whatever it is that you know is fucking dragging you down, I also heard it's going to also perform miracles in your own life. So the more happier you are, the more light we're bringing upon to this earth, the more that we can open those gates to hell and free these people, because I have so much experience in sending ghosts home. I battled a demon. I battled dark negative entities that were ruining people's life. I do know how this works. I know how it works. And as us as a collective that we can come together during this holy time, I'll tell you what, I am so excited for Easter to come. I that we are going to be in a completely different energy. We're going to be in such a completely different energy, because I'll tell you what, you know what I know? It's fucking over for these demons. It's over for these vampires. It's fucking over. And I'll tell you what, I cannot I don't even want to get on I, I don't even want to get on social media anymore, because I cannot stand seeing that fucking Epstein's face plastered everywhere. Like it's in my mind. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to look at it anymore.
Yeah, it does scare me a little bit. I don't want to say scared. I'm not scared, but it doesn't. It does worry me though that they are losing their grip on power because they're gonna do something crazy to keep it. You know what I mean? They're gonna so, like you said, during this holy time, we need to stay really grounded. We need to keep our prayers up, and we really need to look after each other. We need to help each other out right now. This is they're not just gonna. It's not gonna be easy. This is not. You like you said, the energy is going to be right. It's gonna change. It's gonna shift, but it's gonna feel very dramatic for some people. Some people are not good with change either. You know, change is
No,
scary to
but
some people. We gotta rip. We
I
have to
love
rip the
I
band.
love change.
We have to rip the band-aid off. We do, but a lot of people are so stuck in this loop, in this cycle, and there's people still out there. You and me personally know them both that they won't accept reality. You know what I
No, they
mean?
won't talk about it. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like I haven't even heard anything from my family since this happened. Like nothing. Like nobody. Like I don't know if they're worried that we're gonna be like. And I'm not one to throw this into anybody's face. I'm just like, I'm just here for whoever. I feel like we need to be here for the people that want to awaken and they're scared and they don't know how to go about it and they don't know how to understand it.
Uh huh.
But I don't want it to let me down. I want to continue to travel. I want to,
Yeah, I had a really weird dream. Maybe I'll tell you about it right now. But as you know, and I know, hey, all actively listening and possibly gaming. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Zach. My cousin Zachary's in here listening to us talk.
oh,
Uh,
hi Zach.
hey, anyhow, I had a really strange dream. Both you and I know that we have lived on this earth many times. No soul just comes to this earth one time. I mean, you rinse and repeat, you recycle, and you learn
Even hearing about Jesus coming, he had past lives too before he was crucified
exactly. So
to
you
prepare himself for it.
exactly you go, and that's what deja vu is. You be like, oh, I felt like I've been here before. I felt like I've you feel that feeling, and you know what I'm talking about. Well, I had this very strange dream that I was living in some European town. I don't know exactly where it was, but it was like some Middle Ages type stuff. And I was living as a very poor person, and my one of my children was really sick, and you know how it was back then, and we were very poor. And the people in the town started, and this is a dream I had. I woke up. It was a couple of days after the Epstein files released, and it felt so real. And the people in the town, they started realizing the king is fucking eating people. Like the reason why they're living so fat and we're all going through famine is because they're fucking eating us. Like they're eating, like people are going missing in the town. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like a horror. And I woke up from that dream and it felt so real. And I was like, I felt like in a past life, I've already lived what's happening. Like the I felt like I lived through another great awakening in another past life. Like I just feel like we're in a time loop where the vampires are being exposed again, and I felt like I've seen this and I've already lived it before. Does
And
that
you
sound crazy?
no, you probably have because I'll probably confirm this for you because I also didn't want to believe it either. But me being a shaman, I've had my encounters. I know about the reptilians. I've had my encounters with the reptilians, the little grays, the galactic starlight beings with the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians actually saved my life one night, but I I didn't want to. I wasn't. I How do I describe this? During COVID, I wasn't fully awakened about a lot of that stuff about the underground tunnels and the cannibalism and all like that stuff,
Uh,
right? So I was receiving so much information during that time, and it would happen to me when I least expected it. Like I remember I was living in San Diego and I was just making my bed one morning, just minding my own business, making my bed, and all of a sudden, this is how it works for me because I can remotely go places.
yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm dropped down into the catacombs. And I knew it, and I felt like I was like in the Vatican. I was under the Vatican in the catacombs. And
That's
I'm
what it
just
did. A
was
lot of
making my
those.
bed. So I dropped down and I'm like the energy was horrible. And you can see all like the skulls and all the bones there in the tunnel. And it's very dark. And all of a sudden I see a reptilian walking towards me. And then before you know it, I'm back in my room. And I'm like, and the energy was awful. And then my guide started to tell me that is an old sacrificial underground tunnel because the the parasites, we're not calling them the elites anymore, because the parasites have
The parasites, not the
cross,
parasite.
they've crossbred with like the reptilians. So the reptilians eat people, they eat us.
Yeah,
The fucking reptilians eat
they're
us.
vampires. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever
they're
they
not
are.
vampire. They're not vampires to me. They're reptilians,
Okay,
and so my guys were telling me what you saw was true. What you saw was accurate. When I was growing up, they taught us about the catacombs. They said all those dead skeletons were in there because it was during the Black Plague from all the people dying. People went down there to die. So my guide said, lies. That's not true. Everything you've been told about history is lies. That was one of a very old sacrificial eating flesh.
that was like the
That
old
maybe
Epstein
maybe that
Island.
was a time of your like your dream.
Yeah, that was like
That was
one of the
one of the
older
that was
Epstein
one of the
Islands.
first
Yeah,
tunnels. So and I'm so they were like so they were breaking like the news to me, and I was like, and I was even like, oh my god. And then
and
another
those tunnels
time,
are underneath the Vatican in New York. Remember, just
I'll
last
never
year.
go. I
Remember,
will never go on one of those things.
remember, just
Never.
last year they found all those tunnels under New York City. They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. But you know the catacombs where they have all the skulls
In
and the
France,
bones and
yeah,
stuff
it's
in
in
there.
Paris. It's in Paris.
No, it's in Italy too. They
Oh,
have
it's
them
in
in
Italy.
Italy too.
Oh, I thought it was in
They're under
Paris.
the Vatican. It's all under the Vatican.
Yeah,
Those people are vampires too. And so I was oh, and then another time in San Diego, which hearing the news about G Bush
yeah,
eating babies too, right? Did you hear in the Epstein files, right?
yeah. He.
That
People were
that's not
so
shocking. That's
they.
not shocking to me, and I'll tell you why.
Uh,
Because when I again during COVID, I'm just relaxing, getting ready to fall
they
asleep.
are all over Europe. Yeah,
Who no no who do I see in front of my face? I see Bush.
George Bush.
I see Bush plain as day, and then I see him transform into a reptilian. And I was like, so hearing about that did not shock me one bit.
Yeah, I actually have this. I actually have this book. It's really interesting. Let me go grab it real quick.
Okay.
The Deep State Encyclopedia. This is a book by my favorite, really graceful, really graceful, and she talks. She has a whole chapter about the Bush family, and I don't know if you ever know who Aleister Crowley is.
I do.
You know who Aleister? Look at this
Yeah.
picture. I don't know if you can see it. So there's Aleister Crowley. This
Yeah.
is this is Barbara Bush, and people have said that Barbara Bush.
No, it was her dad or something.
Yeah, Barbara Bush. They were related. Look at the. This is a picture. It's small, but this is Barbara Bush and Aleister Crowley. Their faces mixed. Look at that.
Yeah, no, he's a Satanist. He's the one that trained a lot of them in the beginning and whatnot.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
know exactly who Alistair probably is.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the Bush family, Barbara Bush is Crowley's daughter. That was the big conspiracy. I mean, this
You mean son?
son, yeah, he was a transgender. But they show videos of Barbara Bush in the '80s with George Bush Sr. and they're just interviewing her on American cable news in the '80s, and she's talking about, oh, I keep a fetus in a jar, and when people come to my house, like I show them the fetus. Like, what the fuck is that about? How were we so asleep back then? Like this, the first lady of the United States is keeping a fetus in a jar. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
fucking
And
weird. Yeah.
and then all the talk shows they talk about pizza. And did you hear Ellen DeGeneres was named one of the biggest female cannibalistic monsters in the files,
Yeah.
and they're all talking about their pizza party. And we know what they're talking
It's
about.
and it's weird as soon
That
as
they had control. They had control of our life touch pictures of all the schools through the whole nation that they can just go and snatch up kids because they have their addresses. They can just go shopping and get kids and.
yeah. And like you said, they used kids because that is the closest they could get to God. So they had to do the most evil stuff for their black magic to work.
Right.
Yeah. It's sick.
But you know what? It's not working anymore because it's all going to backfire
The
on
mass
them.
awakening is happening, and I know it's scary. Maybe some people don't want to wake up, but we have to look at it like this.
We have
We've
to.
been
You
we've
have
been
to wake up. You
uh,
have to wake up,
what
people.
what I
Wake
was
up.
what I was saying is maybe some people don't want to accept it, but I'm actually excited, and we should be excited about the time we live in. We live in the time where we can actually make a difference. We live in a time where we are exposing the demons and the parasites. We live in a time where they are losing their control over us. We talk over the internet with each other. They're trying to always censor our platforms, but we're creating our own media now. We're creating our own music. We're creating our own. Me and you are talking. We can put this on YouTube and people can watch that if they want. Like we don't have to watch what the stuff they put in front of us. So I'm actually excited because we live in the best time to battle. We have the most tools to battle these demons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm currently, when I have time, writing my book because that's going to offer a lot of insights for people who are just awakening. It's really going to help a lot of people relate to awaken their own intuitive guidance because that's Christ consciousness right there.
Yes.
It's
We
your own beautiful intuitive guidance.
we have to stay grounded and we have to stay focused on the goal. And I had fun talking to you tonight. Everybody follow the Mystic FA on TikTok. We're gonna be doing more talks like this probably weekly. And like I said, March is, and for the rest of Lent is already going on right now. Ramadan is going on
Yes.
right now. But
Yes.
me personally, for the month of March, TikTok, YouTube, if you want to follow me doing this, I'm gonna be doing a month long prayer challenge. We got social media is full of challenges all the time. I'm gonna be doing a month long prayer challenge. It's gonna be called Meditation March, and I'm gonna be praying every day that we get
Oh,
justice for
that's
the children's.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna be praying every day, daily, that we get justice for the children and that we help the ones that lost their lives and all this to cross over. You know,
And you know what? I
the
think
children full of shipping containers like that.
I know.
That is so sad. It's been happening for so long. So
And I'm going to join you, but I think I'm going to do like maybe some prayers and offer like a guided meditation, and I'll stream that too on TikTok.
cool, cool. Well, I had really a good time talking to you. And
I know.
Sunday
I'm sorry, we're rambling off
No,
because
this
we're
is
so
great.
mad.
This is great. So it's a Sunday reset. Everybody who tuned in, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe. Like I said, follow the Mystic FA. But it's a new
But I
week.
can,
When you
huh?
wake up tomorrow, anybody who's watching, show some gratitude for what you have in life, and let's make this world a better place for each other. We have to stand up in
We have
against the
to. It's
darkness
time.
together.
That's how
All of
that's
us
how
can
we
do
get
this.
this. That's how we get our power back. Is awakening. Is awakening to your own light, into your own higher vibration, into Christ consciousness. Jesus isn't coming back. Okay, so that's a lie that we've been sold. You're not going to have some man, in a robe falling out of the sky, and he's going to be like, "I'm here to save everybody." That's not happening.
No, it's the
Basically,
consciousness of
the earth.
the awakening,
Yeah,
the
it's
mass awakening.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So I can't believe that people still believe that. Like, no, you were sold on a lie. You are the awakening person. You are awakening. The globe is awakening to Christ consciousness.
Yeah, we have caught on to their symbolism. They
So dumb.
the symbolism will be their downfall. We all caught on, and we're not asleep anymore.
No.
All right,
No.
everybody. You can stay on
I'm
the
going
camera.
to bed. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
you can stay on the camera with me for 1 second. I'm gonna close the stream, but peace out,
Okay.
everybody. Take care.
Okay.
Peace
Bye.
out. Bye.